Tomorrow is the big day. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, tomorrow is the big day that we certainly need to pay attention to because there's going to be some big changes coming that's going to directly impact all of us for at least the next couple years. Therefore, we want to pay attention to what are these changes and what does all of this mean for us. There's a lot of possibilities and we need to talk through all those details right here in the video. There's a lot going on, a lot of possibilities, and a lot of changes. Therefore, let's get into it and talk about it. And most importantly, like I said, what does this mean for us for the next couple years? Let's jump right into it. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so. And because I am your one and only daily advocate, I'm here for you right by your side each and every day, doing all the necessary research and watching all of this information hitting the wire, breaking it all down into these short videos so you can stay updated with what's actually going on and, most importantly, how it's going to impact you, your money, your benefits, your lifestyle, your bank account, and anything out there right now you can possibly grab and or take advantage of, including money, benefits, raises to benefits, checks, programs, stimulus, or anything else like that. Of course, I want to bring it to your attention right away. So again, thanks so much for joining me. I truly want to do what I can to help you out by keeping you updated and, of course, helping you with any kind of money, checks, programs, or anything like that I mentioned. I want to help you out in any way that I can. So again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and I'll continue to be here for you right by your side every single day with all of this valuable information and letting you know what it means for all of us. All right, let's jump into it. So tomorrow, the big old day that we want to pay attention to, which is, yup, you called it, the midterm elections. Now, here's the thing. We got to pay attention to this. Whether you follow politics or whether you don't, doesn't really matter, because here's the thing. It's going to impact all of us, okay? We got to pay attention to this stuff at least a little bit. Now, again, I'm not going to turn this into a political video. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not taking political sides in this video, as I never do. However, let's quickly talk through some of the details about what is actually going on and what the outcomes of the elections tomorrow actually mean for all of us and what are some of the possibilities. Now, here's the thing. Again, I want to make it very clear. This is not a political video, okay? Not taking political sides, but I do want to point out a few different situations that could happen as far as what's going to happen with the House of Representatives, the Senate, and what it means going forward. So as we all know, as of right now, Democrats have full control of everything. The House of Representatives, the Senate, and obviously the presidency. However, the presidency is not changing tomorrow. There's still a couple of years left of President Biden's term, but again, well, we can talk about that in a couple of years from now as far as what's going to happen there, right? But let's quickly talk about the chambers, the House of Representatives, and of course the Senate. What is going to happen here, because both of these are up for grabs as far as who is going to take control of them, right? Now, here's a couple different situations that could play out with the midterm elections, and I want to point out a couple different situations that, if they play out, what this actually means for all of us, again, going forward. So here's the thing. What happens if the elections come in and Democrats maintain control of the House of Representatives and the Senate? Well, that means that they would still have full control, just like they do right now, for the next couple of years at a minimum, with everything that they want. So here's the thing. If Democrats maintain control, we would likely see a lot more reconciliation bills going forward. Probably not a lot. Realistically, they can only do a couple more. They only get so many options to do reconciliation, but you better believe if they have full control, they're absolutely going to use those reconciliation opportunities, and they're going to do that over the next couple of years here, okay? We're also likely going to see a lot higher taxes going forward, and again, we've already heard this out of some of the Democratic representatives, the lawmakers, the president. We've heard this out of the senators. We've heard this out of all of them, that they already have plans to raise taxes yet again next year. Again, just saying some of the plans that they already have in store, okay? So that's one of the situations. Another situation that we could see play out would be Republicans take control of the House of Representatives and possibly Democrats maintain control of the Senate, and then obviously the president being Democratic as well. If that's the case then as well, they're going to have a much harder time getting a lot of bills through because it needs to be passed through the House of Representatives, needs to be passed through the Senate, and then ultimately signed by the president. So that is another option as well that could possibly be happening. Now, another option could be Republicans take control of the House of Representatives, Republicans take control of the Senate, and then obviously the president, Democratic as well. In that situation, we're probably not going to get a whole lot done. Just being real with you. Again, I'm not taking political sides here. I'm just simply saying, because what the Republicans would want to do in Congress, right, the House of Representatives and the Senate, the president's not going to sign it. It's going to get to his desk after passing through the House and the Senate, and he's going to say, no way, I'm not lowering taxes. No way. I think you guys meant to say raise taxes, right? So the president's not going to sign virtually anything that Republicans want to get done. So in that situation, we're going to have a really hard time getting really anything through, right? Maybe there'll be a few things that come forward and that they actually want to get done. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of different things that they want to get done, but will they actually get it through and actually to the president's desk with a signature versus the big old veto stamp? You know what I mean? So that's one of the major concerns that's out there is, what's the president actually going to sign that that Republicans are going to send to his desk? That's a big question mark, right? So anyway, that's one of the situations as well. Now, another situation could be Democrats maintain control of the House of Representatives. Again, just based on what I'm seeing out there right now, highly unlikely that's going to happen. But again, I don't want to say here, what's possibly going to happen. I'm just simply saying, this is what I'm reading out there, everything that I'm seeing. Highly unlikely that the Democrats are going to hold control of the House of Representatives. But let's just say in this situation that they do, and Republicans take control of the Senate. Again, we're going to have one of these divided governments, right? So as a result of that, we're going to see a lot of different back and forth. We're going to see a lot of bills out of both sides and a lot of failed bills as well, right? A bunch of bills that are proposed by one side, sent over to the other, and they say, not doing that. We're not voting for that. Not a clue. You know what I mean? They're not going to do anything about it, okay? So we're going to see a lot of back and forth with that. It's a divided government, and typically when there's a divided government like that, a whole lot of nothing gets done, right? So, but at the same time, there's kind of a balance because there's a lot of different bills and proposals, things like that are brought through the congressional process, that are brought through the legislative process, and then ultimately at the end of the day, not a whole lot gets done. Some bills do get through, but not nearly as much, okay? So it's not necessarily a bad thing, right? It kind of keeps the checks and balances in the government and through the chambers like that to make sure that, the most worthy bills are making their way through Congress rather than just, one-sided bills, right? So, and then of course we need the signature out of the president, things like that. But anyway, this is a very hotly contested election. As you've probably been seeing all the different ads and things like that. It's crazy, right? Honestly, it's just getting a little bit old. I think all of us are probably really excited for tomorrow to be over, just so that we can stop seeing all of these political ads on TV and on the radio and literally everywhere you look around. You're driving around or you're walking, you see all these yard signs everywhere, or signs, billboards, literally everywhere. It's just like, you've got to be kidding me already. You know what I mean? Like, get it out of here. I think we're all probably really sick of seeing those things, right? So, seeing them, hearing them, all those things like that. But again, there's also some talk out there right now that we're likely not even going to have the outcome of this election for at least a couple days. So we could be in for this for at least a few more days, sometime later this week, when we actually do get the actual results of this election. So just like we've seen with other elections before, some of these drag on for a very long time. Sometimes in cases, weeks and weeks later, we don't even know the answer yet, right? So I don't anticipate that, and a lot of experts out there right now are not anticipating that either, that this is going to drag out for weeks, but it could be at least a couple days, possibly from the time that the elections wrap up late tomorrow evening with all the polling places closed and things like that, and then all of a sudden by the time they get all the ballots in, everything counted, and everything accounted for, and make sure for that, we're going to see what happens here. Now remember, once this midterm election actually wraps up, these new lawmakers that are elected, they're not going to be sworn in until early January, okay? So nothing will change between now and virtually the first couple days of January until the new lawmakers are brought in. Then the new Congress will start, okay? So for the next, 2 months or so, call it 2 months. It's actually just a couple days shy of 2 months. Let's just call it the next 2 months. It's going to be the same thing. The current Congress will be in place. Nobody new will be there until early January. Then they all come in, and that's the new Congress. And then we're going to anticipate a lot of new bills, a lot of new proposals, a lot of packages, a lot of new things, pieces of legislation hitting the table. And it totally depends what happens. Who's controlling what? Who has the control of the chambers? Is it divided? Is it, is it maintaining in the control of Democrats? Has it been flipped to Republicans? Again, we don't know that yet, but we will know relatively soon, right? And then all of this is going to kind of pave the way forward for the next couple of years here to let us know what's going to happen here over the next couple of years. In Congress, and what are they actually going to get done for us, right? I think that's a question that all of us want to ask. What are they going to do for us? What are you doing for me, right? Just like we always wonder with all these politicians. They all say, give me your vote, give me your vote. And I always think to myself, okay, you want my vote? What are you going to do for me? What are you going to do for me? What are you going to do for the people? Seriously, sell us on something. And rather than just telling us all the things you're going to do, show us. Show us you're going to do something, right? Because I think all of us know the political games, right? They loved giving us all these promises, and then they never fulfill on these promises, right? We see it all the time. It's same old song and dance we've been seeing forever, right? All the years that have gone by, we all see the same old thing. So it's not about what they can say. It's, talk is cheap. We all say that, right? Talk is cheap, but let's just see some action here out of these lawmakers so that they'll actually do something for the people. So it's going to be very interesting. And I anticipate there's going to be a lot of drama here over the next couple of days between basically now and the end of the week until we get official decisions on all of this and official tallies and numbers on all of this as far as who gets the House, who gets the Senate, the chambers, what happens here. Until all of this is actually, brought, all the final details are brought in, it's going to be probably pretty dramatic. It might actually be kind of funny and actually kind of interesting to watch this whole thing play out because I'm anticipating there's going to be some throwdowns. You know what I mean? There's going to be some real drama thrown down, and it might actually be a little bit entertaining. You never know, right? Either way, as I find more details, of course, I'll bring that to you. But I want to break this down for you and let you know we're finally here. This is something, and just like something we've been watching for a very long time. No shocker, right before the election days came in like this, we saw all of these new things coming in, all these new announcements and stuff like that. But again, that's no surprise. We knew all of that was going to be coming. Within weeks of the election, we knew that some big announcements were going to be coming out. And again, no surprise. It happened just like we anticipated. Anyway, as I do get more details on anything going on out there right now that may impact you and or anything out there that you can possibly grab or take advantage of course, I'll be right here for you, breaking it all down and let you know what's going on. And of course, giving you those resources as I find them. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands and thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, please have a nice day, enjoy, and I'll catch you again later.